Hello, welcome back. CC TitleTown, episode 17 here in South Bend, Indiana. It's Saturday, September 7th, here middle of the afternoon. Kickoffs for some games are going on. Cam, how you doing today?
Great, man. We're about to go play Warren Golf Course after this podcast, after we're done recording, so
Yes.
I can't wait for that.
Yeah, man, I am
I also am excited for this episode because there's a lot to talk about. I mean, we woke up this morning and it's like Antonio Brown is released.
Like crazy, in the matter of a 3-day span.
Just everything. What?
Like shit's hitting the fan.
What is going on? This man. Look. Oh my! I don't know what's going on with him.
Yeah, as much as I bash Odell and his, character, like Antonio Brown is crazy.
That's child's play compared to AB right now.
Easily.
Yeah. So yeah, we got some good topics to discuss today.
Yeah, a little bit NFL.
Yeah.
Mainly NFL.
Mainly NFL. We'll touch on some college.
Yeah.
Later.
College week 1, kind of a boring week.
It was. It was. But.
And obviously we only have the one game done in the pros. So,
yeah. Which we will definitely talk about.
Right.
We were already having discussions about that yesterday.
Oh yeah, it was a good one.
We will get to that for sure. You all right over there, man? Dang, struggling. But anyway, Antonio Brown. The whole saga really. It started. Let's go all the way back to Pittsburgh. And when he was just talking about, he wanted a new contract and, he's kind of acting a fool there, which you can understand that he was acting that way because he wanted a new deal. I'm not okay with him sitting out a full year. That last game. Not okay with that.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
But him, doing, that's normal for guys to almost act up when they want a new deal. At this point.
The way the NFL is now, like, temper tantrums are thrown.
Yeah.
Behind doors or not behind doors, like,
right.
Julio was going to hold out if he didn't get a new deal, which he just did.
Which they did him right, and he deserves it.
And he did it right by not making everything so public.
Yeah, but that's not Julio.
Exactly. He would have been stubborn, I'm sure.
Maybe.
But that's wouldn't everybody if they know they should,
Yeah.
They have the leverage.
Mm-hmm.
But, everyone's different, and... Yeah, it's honestly just one of the craziest things that I've ever seen.
Oh, I don't. It's unprecedented, really. Like people, bring up T.O. and this and that.
Right.
T.O. was a prima donna, just like a lot of receivers are, but T.O. never threatened to punch his general manager in the face.
Right. Exactly.
He never did any of that. The man wanted his money. He was trying to work his way out of certain situations, and he did it that way. Being a prima donna, whatever, a diva. But he always came and showed up and practiced hard.
Exactly.
And, never quit on his team. This man played the Super Bowl on one leg.
Right. And
he was the best player on the field.
It's crazy.
So, I don't know. This whole AB situation is unprecedented. I don't know what's going to happen with the rest of his career, to be honest.
And, according to him, it doesn't matter.
He said that from the jump.
Exactly, which is what they were saying, like, why the Raiders should have known, like, the whole reason he's even in this situation to begin with is because of what was going on in Pittsburgh. And,
yeah.
He openly said on live TV, I don't need football.
Right.
I'm good without it. I could walk away and be fine.
Yeah.
So the Raiders knew that.
Yep.
And he stuck by his word, essentially, and we obviously see the outcome.
So, yeah.
Are they can't be that shocked with what's going on, right?
They shouldn't be. They shouldn't be because AB, he showed you that he will quit on his team.
Right. It's him, and that's all he's really focused on.
That's all he cares about.
Right.
Him and his money. That's it.
Right.
Is what it seems.
Uh-huh.
The Raiders should not be surprised by this.
They should actually be lucky that
the writing was
this didn't happen after the $30 million signing and he got
right.
paid.
Right. His contract was voided because he was fined for conduct detrimental to the team. Right. It was the wording.
Right.
So, that's in your contract, AB. Like all this is
right.
Everything that has happened to him is self-inflicted.
Easily, imagine just showing up for work, working hard, and playing.
Oh wow, there's a thought.
That's it.
There's a thought.
Right.
Dude, the helmet thing. the whole like not practicing because you don't have your helmet. Like, dude,
Right,
really?
come
They're
on,
not.
man.
For one, nobody's gonna hit you.
They're not they're not even hitting in practice right
Yeah.
now.
Oh, well, the new helmets block my vision. Get over it, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone has to adjust
Exactly.
to the new helmets.
It's kind of like at this point, I feel like everybody's just over him and over that situation. It's kind of like at this point, I wouldn't even care if he goes and plays for another team.
I'd be like, oh, cool, good. I guess good for him, but
Right, like let's see what happens.
we'll see how that goes.
But he's not what he used to be until we see him on the field. So like, I'm not worried.
I'm not gonna say that. I think he can still ball, but
I think he could be still a great receiver, but like, I'm like over him. Like,
Yeah.
next topic, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
On
You're tired of seeing it.
Like ESPN, like, come on, next.
Yeah, I'm kind of tired of seeing him too. You think Bill Belichick will scoop him up? I mean, that's the whole Twitter talk.
I'm sure it's been a topic of discussion there.
Yeah, I mean, the internet is undefeated, guys. All you got to
Always.
do is just go look up some, Antonio Brown memes, and
Mhm.
you'll see. I mean, it's
They're all over,
hilarious. But
They're all over.
yeah, I think he's even beyond Belichick saving him.
Yeah.
To be honest,
Yeah.
Belichick's picked up Josh Gordon. They got Randy Moss back in the day. He was kind of considered a diva
Right.
receiver. AB's beyond any of that.
Yeah. What team, if at all, would or could or should, reach out to him and see if he, will play for them? Like, is there any teams that you could see, like?
No. Like, why would you?
Right.
Why would you want to take that risk
Right.
of potentially bringing a cancer into your team?
Exactly.
I just don't see the talent's there, but the risk outweighs the reward in this situation.
Right.
So
I totally agree.
what do you think? Do you think a team's going to take a chance on him? I wouldn't.
I think there will be.
Yeah.
I think he'll get phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
He'll probably he won't get anywhere near $30 million from anybody now.
No.
I mean, that's out the window, long gone.
Yeah.
But we kind of talked about it earlier. I could see a team doing a 1-year deal, $10 million, fully guaranteed, just for 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
Take a flyer, see what happens. Kind of like, I don't know, like some of those, like kind of like DeMarcus Cousins in the basketball, like 1-year
Gotcha.
deal.
Yeah.
Go prove it now.
Yep.
That's something he's gonna have to probably settle for at this point.
At this point, yeah, because he kind of ruined his.
Right, kind of like
image.
LaShawn McCoy. Even he, although not $10 million, but he's
Yeah.
doing a 1-year flyer with the Chiefs for $4 million, I think,
Yeah.
3 or
Yeah.
4 million. So it's gonna be something like that where team doesn't have a lot of money for future, but they have some money now.
Mm-hmm.
If we got it, let's spend it.
If you want to play,
Right,
like come ball,
right,
maybe make it very little guaranteed.
Right.
I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. 10 million. Someone will throw that number out there at him. 1-year deal is what I think is probably gonna happen.
If he acts up, cut him.
Right. Imagine him throw him on the Jets with Le'Veon, Sam Darnold, and that defense coming
Sheesh.
around. That could be kind of like,
That could be a good situation. If
I
they
don't know
got the
how
money.
tight Le'Veon and Bell are, or Le'Veon and Brown are now. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if they're still cool, but
Mm-hmm.
if the Jets have a little bit of money, maybe if Le'Veon and Brown are still tight like that, it can kind of be like a Landry and Odell. They're really close. They'll mesh together. They know what the goal is for this team.
Right.
On a 1-year deal and kind of see what happens.
Right.
You know.
Maybe feel like he's got somebody in his corner
Right.
already.
Exactly. Not on his own. Everyone's against him. Type. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
I understand that. I could see that.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think? Do you think someone's gonna? They're gonna be.
Someone's
calling.
going to. I don't know. I feel like AB is gonna want to sign with a. I don't know if winning's even important to him. I don't want to say he's gonna sign with a winning team because
Right.
I don't think winning's even important.
I don't think it is
to him.
either.
Obviously, it's. I mean, I wonder if he really didn't want to be on the Raiders.
Right. But the money brought him there.
The money brought him there. That was the only team that was willing to give him that $30 million guaranteed.
Right.
Well, obviously that's.
And
I mean, he got traded there,
right.
so I mean, I just don't know. I don't know what's important to this guy. He's so. He goes so many different ways. You're just like, what? Like, I can't understand this person.
Right.
So.
It's hard to say.
So what do you think about his? A lot of people are talking about his mental state. Like, you think he's okay? Is he okay? Like, is he stable?
I mean, well, it's hard to tell, but from everything we can see and read and watch and hear, you almost have to take that into consideration and, take a step back and be like, hey, maybe that is a thing going on with him, Like,
maybe, yeah.
I wouldn't brush it under the carpet and be like, oh, no way. Like,
Yeah.
it can't be.
But
I also don't want to jump to conclusions.
Yeah, no, I don't either. But I think something that may have to be done if you're a team that's gonna, maybe take the risk of signing Antonio Brown is you're gonna want to get like a mental evaluation done,
right?
Maybe for him. I don't know. Like,
at this point, Brown has no leverage. So
none.
If that's something that the team is going to demand, then he's going to have to do it if he wants to be back in football to play.
Right. Definitely.
But like he said before, he's fine without it. So maybe he will still, like, I want at least $30 million again, and if not, I'm cool. I'll go home and watch the games on Sunday.
Yeah.
I don't really know. We'll find out.
We will. It is a soap opera, man.
It is.
Watching it and paying attention to it, keeping up with it. It's like 1 minute he's apologizing, the next minute, he's posting on Instagram like just cut me.
Right. Exactly.
So.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I don't know. This whole situation's been crazy ever since he's been traded.
Yeah, ever since he got there, it's just been kind of like a roller coaster. And like I said, we'll kind of see what happens going forward. And like I said, I'm over it on ESPN. Like, I'm not really going to pay too much more attention until teams are calling him and we see who's looking at it.
Until he gets on the field, I don't want to hear anymore.
Right, I'm
about
over
him.
it.
Yep. I'm sure everyone else is too.
Right. It just happened today. Essentially, the release did. So
yeah.
It'll be another couple of days, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But
we shall see. I'm sure his agent's working hard.
Yeah, he is now.
Yeah.
But in other words, as far as NFL goes, we had the first game of the year on Thursday. 100-year anniversary.
Yeah, 100 years of the NFL.
It's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The Bears and the Packers faced off. Probably, you could say, the biggest, if not like one of the biggest rivalries easily in NFL.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goes back a long
They've
time.
played like 200 times, 199 times.
Yeah, something crazy like that. And kind of a letdown of a game as a whole. Right?
If you like defense, it was a great game.
Right.
But as a whole, the game I think it wasn't good.
No.
It was not good.
Especially for the home team, the Bears. Like, the Bears, they were getting booed. The crowd was lit. They were ready to go. Like, the defense came to prepared, played lights out again.
Defense was great.
Held Rodgers to 200 yards and a touchdown. Like,
yeah,
you don't see that often.
That's hard to do.
Right.
They really contained him well.
Like less than 50 yards rushing total, I think, or just over 50 yards rushing total or something like that.
Yeah.
And then the Bears offense was like a huge, like, probably one of the biggest anticipated games in general, but like as Bears fans, I think just from reading articles, scrolling through Twitter, like everybody talking about the Bears offense, what it's going to be, how it's going to look, it's going to take off, and they come out like more flat than like they ever did last year.
More flat than like a 10-day-old open 2-liter sitting on the counter, like dude, flatter than flat.
Which is like, I think everybody was like shocked, like.
Yeah.
I mean, from everything we were reading, like, to see that. Like,
honestly, I was. Based on everything that we had seen and anticipated. Matt Nagy was like, we're going to give Mitch Trubisky more freedom in the offense. We're going to give him more. We're basically going to give him the keys.
Right. Give him
in a sense.
Right.
He's obviously, Nagy's still calling the plays, but they wanted Mitch to take that next step.
Right.
Was the whole vibe we were getting from preseason and leading up to this game.
Right.
And it just looked like they didn't know what was going on.
They
looked
like they were lost out there.
Yeah.
And obviously, credit to Green Bay's defense, who improved tremendously.
They
looked really good.
They did.
So it's no shot to them because they played lights out.
Oh yeah. You got to tip your cap to that defense
easily
for sure.
And it's kind of a mix of both. Like Trayvon Williams said, like, we knew if we made their quarterback play quarterback, we'd win the game. And essentially, that's what they did.
They had a game plan and they executed it perfectly.
Exactly.
On defense.
Right. And I think the play calling was horrendous.
So well, let's get into that. The Bears' offense.
Right.
Who's at fault?
Right.
With the way that it performed.
In my opinion, obviously there's more than just one to blame, but
Who's at the most fault?
I would start with Nagy.
Okay.
At the top.
The play calling?
Yeah, easily the play calling. You're not down more than 7 points the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
You're down 4 points with 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. This is just that last drive.
Yeah.
You don't run the ball once.
Yeah.
You run the ball 3 times in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
A total of no, I don't even think they ran it that many times. I want to say they ran the ball a total of 9 times total.
Yeah. No, I think it was 11 by running backs.
I'm sorry. Excuse me. Yes. It was 11 total in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Total.
Yeah.
So just cracked double digits. And all we heard about was Montgomery, this and that, who actually ran the ball pretty well.
He looked good.
He did look good.
When he ran it, he looked good. I'm looking up the number of offensive plays that the Bears ran. One thing about the run game, you have to commit to it. You have to commit to the running game. And for Mitch, I think they're putting a lot on him, I will say.
Almost like threw him under the bus.
I wouldn't say that. They expected they expected more out of him than what they got.
Sure. But you could say that about the run game too,
Yes.
And it's a mix with the Trubisky thing. They were giving Trubisky the 4-yard curls, 4-yard dump offs all day long,
mm-hmm.
and dropping guys back into coverage because they knew if he had to throw it deeper, he wouldn't. In their minds, he won't be able to do it because of the coverage that they're running, the
mm-hmm.
defense scheme that they have, and the game plan they put together.
Yeah.
So, I think with Nagy's play calling, he wasn't going with the Packers defense.
Mm-hmm.
He's running plays that would work against the Packers defense, which is forcing the hand on Trubisky, and obviously didn't work out.
So the Bears ran 65 plays on offense. 15 were runs. I think some of those plays are punts, obviously.
Right.
So
yeah.
15 rush attempts, 45 pass attempts.
Trubisky had 3 rush attempts, and Cordell Patterson had 1.
Yep.
So there's
11
the running backs.
by the running backs. 3.1 yards a carry in those 15 plays. So
sorry, go ahead.
You could say, well, we weren't getting anything out of the run game.
Most electric player on the offense, Tariq Cohen, didn't get 1 touch out of the backfield.
Yep.
I mean, that's play calling.
That is.
All day long.
Mm-hmm. I'll give you that.
That's bad.
I'll give you that.
So I definitely would say it's on Nagy. And that's what he admitted to as well.
Most of the blame?
Yeah. Probably 65% of it. The rest would go on Trubisky.
Okay. So a good portion on Trubisky.
No. Well, 30.
35.
Yeah. Which portion. It's a good chunk.
So here's who I think the blame goes on. Nagy is to blame.
Right.
For definitely some. I would go 60-40 though Trubisky.
Okay.
Maybe 55-45 Trubisky.
Gotcha.
I think a majority of the blame has to go on Trubisky. The coach may or may have not have called the greatest plays, didn't have the best play calling.
Game plan in general.
But as you've always said, players got to make plays.
Absolutely.
He didn't make no plays. He made a couple of good throws, maybe. The rest of them, I'm like, dude, where are you throwing the ball? Where? To who? He, 50% completion percentage? Maybe a little bit more, higher than that? A little higher. 45 for 26.
Yeah, so just
Not
great.
not good.
No. But you got to throw the ball 45 times. That's a lot. But regardless, I agree. With what you're saying, I totally agree. He made some good throws. He had some receivers make some good catches.
Yes.
He made some bad throws.
And those receivers had to make good catches because the ball wasn't where it needed to be.
Not always.
Not always, no.
I mean, he had some good throws. I mean...
I know that. He's a he's an NFL quarterback.
Exactly.
He can make good throws. He's capable of it.
Yeah.
But the thing about Trubisky, he is not consistent.
No.
I don't think... I mean, just based on, like, obviously we don't have a lot of data points to look at for this year.
Right.
But just based on his 2 years, it's like... Yeah, obviously you saw a jump last year. A huge portion of that was because of Matt Nagy calling plays.
Right.
Putting him in positions to succeed. But, his first year, he's just been inconsistent.
Right.
He's not... I don't think he's ever going to be, like, a pocket passer. He's never going to be... a lot of... you look at his completion percentage. Yeah, those are little dumps and screens that he's thrown a lot to Tariq Cohen last year.
Right.
That helped his percentage a lot.
Oh, yeah. Helps
Everyone's. Yeah, it does.
Right.
Cam Newton. We were talking about Cam Newton. He had one of his best completion percentages last year as well.
Right.
Well, look at who he's got in the backfield.
Right. Exactly.
So
it makes it a lot easier.
It does. But the thing about Trubisky, I rarely ever see him fit a ball in a tight window.
Right. Well, did you see the one yesterday?
On Thursday?
The RPO. Oh, yeah, excuse me. The RPO and the side slinger.
That was nice.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Like you said, I think he has the ability to do it.
He's not consistent.
He's also struggling to read defenses still.
Still.
Yes.
Year 3, my guy.
Yes.
Year 3.
Yes.
Listen, the thing about reading defenses, I think some quarterbacks have that ability and some just, you can learn it, but some just don't.
Right.
Like they just don't see the field well.
Right. And so
you remember that? You remember that Madden vision back in the day? When field vision with the quarterbacks,
yes,
the highlighted area.
Right.
Dude, his is like a little cone, narrow cone.
Right.
He can't see the field.
Right. I think what we agree on. There's things that we both agree on. There's things that we don't agree on.
Yes.
I think because we got into it last night, big time, which was fun, and I'm sure it'll get there soon.
Yeah.
I think we both agree that he has everything he needs to do well, and we've seen him make the throws, we've seen him have good games.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen him do it consistently.
Right.
I think you're more on the fence of I guess I'd let you speak for us.
I'm more on look, he was...
Because according to last night, he was trash.
I was emotional.
Yeah, he's never been, he's not going to be this, he's not going to be that. There's no way he's going to do it. He's trash. And I was on the other fence. I'm on the other side of the fence.
Look, he's not trash. That's just a loosely used term that everyone uses. You know what I mean? He's not terrible.
Right.
He's not the worst quarterback in the league. He's not Eli Manning.
Right.
He's not...
He's an average quarterback right now.
Average quarterback, and I think that's all he will ever be.
Right.
He will never be good. He will never be... you can say he's a franchise quarterback, but is he... when you think of franchise quarterback, you don't think of Mitchell Trubisky.
You think of the top 4 or 5
I can name at least 10.
I know you don't have them in your head all the way, but if you want to go name 10 quarterbacks...
You can just pull up a list of quarterbacks and be like, franchise quarterback, franchise quarterback, franchise quarterback, franchise... That's who you think of. Even Matt Ryan's a franchise quarterback.
Right. For sure.
Aaron Rodgers, obviously.
Right.
Pat
Drew
Mahomes.
Brees,
Drew Brees. Tom Brady. What's that, 5?
Yeah.
So far?
5.
And I'm just... Let me get a list.
I can keep going, too.
Yeah. Go.
Jared Goff.
Borderline franchise quarterback.
You could say Carson Wentz, but he's been hurt.
Who?
Carson Wentz.
If he's not hurt, franchise quarterback.
Yeah, but that's a bigger... RG3 was the same way. Done. Carson Wentz has to prove he can stay.
Andrew Luck was a franchise quarterback.
Injured. Gone. Retired. So
I'm just saying. I'm saying though, but when you think of franchise quarterbacks, you never will think of Mitchell Trubisky ever, in my opinion.
And that's where I disagree. Year 3 of his whole career, for only 1 year, so counting yesterday or Thursday, excuse me. Essentially, he's had 1 season and 1 game with his head coach. He was thrown in a dumpster fire his rookie year, was he not?
Yeah.
The receivers he had there,
Mm-hmm.
the coaches, everything,
Mm-hmm.
like atrocious.
Yeah. I'll give you that.
So I got some stats. We were talking about this yesterday. Trubisky's like, if we want to count his rookie season, which we should, he played 12 games. He didn't play a full season.
7-7.
Yeah, he didn't play the whole season because
7.
Mike Glennon was there.
That was a terrible experiment.
Yeah, that was very bad. And then he had the crazy jump last year
Mm-hmm.
to a average season, right? You could say.
Mm-hmm.
I picked out a few quarterbacks that were drafted in the top 5. First example, Marcus Mariota, franchise quarterback.
He was expected to be,
Okay, so he's not anymore though.
but he's not.
But
I wouldn't.
in his first 3 years,
His first 3 years, he looked good. He looked
at that
good.
At that time,
So that's the thing. That's the difference. Mitchell Trubisky has never looked like Marcus Mariota did back then.
let's compare numbers. In his first 3 years, 2. We'll go 2 because
Okay.
he's really only played 2.
Yeah.
His first year, he threw for 2,800 yards, 19 touchdowns, 10 interceptions.
Okay.
Took a jump in his second year to just under 3,500 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions.
And he also could do more with his feet.
Yeah, but Trubisky's no slouch on his feet.
No, but
either.
Marcus Mariota ran the offense at Oregon. That man can run.
Exactly, which is
Could
fine.
run.
Trubisky's great enough runner for me.
Oh yeah.
They went 3-9 and 8-7.
Okay.
Another name. Who we played, Aaron Rodgers. Wasn't a starter in Green Bay till 2008, which would have been his 4th season.
Don't even. Are you really gonna do this? Are you gonna?
We're going by numbers because this is what we talked about.
Okay.
In his first 2 seasons. 2 seasons. Just over 4,000 yards, 28 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Not a bad season, right?
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
That's good.
Right. Following right behind whose footsteps? Brett Favre. What did Mahomes do? Followed Alex Smith. Doing great. Second year, 4,400 yards, 30 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. That's like MVP season.
Yeah.
Right. So he had a lot to learn from Brett Favre. He wasn't thrown in any dumpster fire. Okay? Like, you're looking at his first 2 years, you're like, okay, he's franchise quarterback, no doubt. Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Obviously, it's Aaron Rodgers.
Perfect. Tom Brady, first 2 years.
We know what Tom Brady was his first couple years.
Going by stats, 2,800 yards, 18 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Average? Below average? Just below average? Average?
It's meh.
3,700 yards, 28 touchdowns, 14 interceptions.
Pretty good.
Average season. Not much different than Trubisky's.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying to you is I think we're judging Trubisky very harshly, and if he plays like this the whole season, no doubt.
Get him out of there.
You got to be thinking differently now, right?
Yep.
But I think for you to think like that now isn't fair.
Why is it not? Okay.
I'm going to explain. I just explained to you why.
Yeah. I mean, those
are Hall of Famer franchise quarterbacks that were average in their first 2 or 3 seasons.
Okay. What was Patrick Mahomes?
Let me look.
Last year, MVP. Okay.
Easily.
First year playing.
Yes. Second year in the league. Behind.
Okay. What did Mitch do his second year in the league?
Who coached Mitch Trubisky his first year? Mike Glennon, like you said, a dumpster fire, terrible decision.
Okay. You mean
1 year in college? What? So you're not? But do you get what I'm saying, or
Mm-hmm.
should I keep explaining it?
I'll get to the 1 year in college.
Okay, that's fine.
Thing as well.
So Mahomes sat out a whole year.
Mm-hmm.
The coaching staff that they had was smart. Let's sit him for a year. Let's get him ready. Let's Alex Smith, Andy Reid, we'll get him ready, hype him up for next season. It comes out and blows everybody out of the water. Best offensive season by a quarterback we've seen in a long time.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Same thing Aaron Rodgers did. I mean, a lot of that's normal. Trubisky didn't get that.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
So
no, he didn't. I understand he's got a lot to learn, to improve on.
Exactly.
I get it. I'm not like saying, last night I was like, a little like, oh yes, he sucks. Get rid of him. It's terrible.
I know.
He's not good. He's not good.
He's average.
At best.
Right now.
Yes.
And he has so much he can improve so much, and like it's all there for him. Like
Jared Goff or Mitchell Trubisky.
Right now?
Yes. Who would you take going forward?
Going forward?
Because this is what we got to look at now.
Right. That's a tough one, man.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Jared Goff, no question. For me. I know he's got a lot of weapons, but for me, Jared Goff.
Right. He's got everything
Baker Mayfield
You could
or Mitchell
take
Trubisky.
Baker Mayfield.
Why?
You could take him.
You wouldn't want Baker over Mitch?
No.
Chris.
What?
What is your deal, man? You are in love with Mitchell Trubisky, and I don't know why.
I think Mitchell Trubisky is a better leader than Jared Goff all day long.
Yeah, okay.
In the locker room,
We don't know what goes on in the locker room, but okay.
no, we don't. But that's what I think.
That's what it's portrayed as,
That's
for
what I
sure.
think.
Okay. Fair enough.
Like you've admitted, he has it. He just needs to do it. But at the same time, you want to.
You can't.
You want to like. You're
the thing
over
is,
it. Like
the inconsistency in the NFL as a quarterback does not work.
But how long has he been in the league? Is what I'm saying.
His third year.
This is his third year, first game,
and he looked absolutely terrible.
Yeah, exactly. He looked.
And I'm
there were times
you,
last year where he looked like that too.
And listen, I'm going to tell you why he's inconsistent. Why he misses open receivers. Listen, this man only started 11 games in college.
Right.
11.
Right.
You want to look at most of the successful quarterbacks in the NFL? How many seasons and games did they start in college? Minimum 2.
Right.
There's a trend. There's a trend that scouts have noticed that when you take a guy who's had, under, let's say, 15, 20 starts in college, the trend that, that they're going to be a good quarterback in the NFL, the chances are a lot slimmer. Okay?
Right.
And then, so when you look at guys like Baker Mayfield started 2 years in college. Look at the Peyton Mannings. Tom Brady, I don't remember how many games he started.
Michigan, I'm not sure.
Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
Right. Andrew Luck.
Right.
I mean, Cam Newton he played in junior college. He started.
Right.
That's Drew Brees.
Right. And I'm sure
Pat Mahomes.
if you wanted me to, I could dig out some quarterbacks that were bust. How many years did Jamarcus Russell play at LSU? I don't even remember. Was it 1 year?
1 or 2, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, there are quarterbacks that are high draft picks that are bust.
Oh, absolutely.
Then there's 7-round picks that are Hall of
But what
Famers.
I'm telling you, if you put it on a graph,
right,
the more games that you play,
before the NFL.
The higher, the better you're going to be
right
off in the NFL is what I'm telling you.
Strictly in college.
Yes, there is a legit trend.
Right.
And Mitchell he started 11 games. He couldn't even start over a guy who didn't. What was his last name? Williams. His first name's escaping me. But anyways, this guy didn't even sniff the NFL, and Mitchell couldn't take the starting job.
What? Yeah, in college.
Couldn't take the starting job. Trevor Lawrence, what did he do at Clemson? He took the starting job.
Right.
From a guy who led them to the championship.
Right.
Kelly Bryant.
Right.
What did Tua do? Took the starting job from Jalen Hurts, a guy who lost 1 or 2 games in his whole college career.
I think Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback than Tua, but that's just
not maybe college quarterback.
That'd be a close.
Maybe
college.
I
feel like he's gonna go off and be a better pro quarterback. But
we'll
anyway,
see.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like these guys took jobs. Mitchell, man, he
took a pro job.
Okay.
What do you mean?
No, he was given the pro job.
He didn't start.
They didn't want him to start.
Because why?
Because they wanted him to sit.
Because he probably wasn't ready.
He wasn't ready.
And if he would have sat out the whole season, could be a different story. But they didn't have a choice. So, obviously his stats are his stats from his first season.
Yeah.
But that's not the Trubisky, of last year. People are going to grow. I don't think we can blame his whole career on yesterday's game.
No. I'm
Which
not,
is what you're doing.
I'm not, but I'm also seeing what he had good games last year, and there were games where he missed some wide open throws. Like, dude,
right?
What? How did you miss a guy running wide open over the middle of the field, throw it way over his head?
Exactly.
You're an NFL quarterback. You got to make that throw.
Right.
And he doesn't always make those downfield throws. He's not a good quarterback.
But he has time.
To what? To improve?
To improve and to start making those throws.
Well, man, he better hurry up.
He's got this season.
Because the Packers are for real, I think, this year. With that defense, that's much improved.
Right.
And then Aaron Rodgers is healthy. Look out.
Right. But there's no excuse for what happened yesterday. Thursday, excuse me. I keep saying yesterday. There's no excuse for it. And I think we both agree that,
we agree.
If it goes like this all season long, there's no way the Bears can just blow it off and act like they don't have an issue at quarterback. I don't think he'll go like this all year long.
He's not going to go like this.
I know, but I don't think he's going to throw like a 20 touchdowns and 15 interception season. You know,
Right.
I don't see that happening.
Yeah, because he doesn't throw the ball down the field. He won't have a ton of picks, of course.
Well, and I don't think we're going to see defenses, hopefully not like that all year long.
Minnesota's defense ain't bad.
No,
We gotta play them
but what
twice.
I'm saying is I don't think Nagy's going to put them in a position where they're not running the ball at least 15 to 20 times a game when they should be.
Minimum.
Especially in a game where it's 7-3 for like 60% of the game.
Yeah.
Like there's literally no excuse they didn't run the ball. That's terrible.
I agree. I totally agree.
The game could have been totally changed. The narrative could have been totally changed if we won. If Trubisky had that game, no touchdown, same stats, and we had a touchdown and won, people would be concerned with Trubisky, but not nearly as much as they are now because they lost.
Well, and I think one thing you got to look at too is like when he threw the pick.
Yeah.
Bad.
Exactly.
Double covered.
Bad read. Stared at the receiver the whole time where he was throwing it. Against a safety that was on your team that knows you. Like, you should have known. Like, there's a curl route where he missed Allen Robinson for a first down.
Yeah.
There's a drag route where he threw off his back foot and terrible throw, almost an interception. That was dropped.
Dude,
these
when those are mechanical flaws that he could have worked on in college had he been a starter.
Right.
Listen, that is like that's serious. Like, if you are a starter for more than 20 plus games, 30 games in college, and you're obviously an NFL talented quarterback with NFL talent, you're more than likely going to be a pretty good NFL quarterback.
Right.
Mitchell didn't have that time.
Right. Like, he's just hitting like the 30 game mark in his career of football games.
Right.
That's besides high school. College and pros, like, he's just passing that 30 game mark.
I know, but I'm telling you, like,
so like I think there's a sense of urgency, obviously.
Needs to be.
It has to be. But I think there also needs to be let's take a deep breath here. Like, it's game one.
Yes.
The biggest game of Matt Nagy's career, the biggest game of Trubisky's career, the biggest game of that organization's career in a long time besides the Eagles game.
Mm-hmm.
And they all shit the bed.
What did they do? Let's bring up that Eagles game. What did he do in the Eagles game? He didn't do much offensively.
He played well. He put them in a position to win their first playoffs game in a long time with dimes in the fourth quarter.
I got
dimes.
That. Yeah, okay.
I get it. He doesn't do it every week. But he showed up in a big moment in a big game and made throws.
Okay.
That's now, like, he was for real. Because at the end of the season last year, you were teetering, so you're like, what? Maybe he is. Maybe he's the one.
I was on the other side of the fence, like, dude, he sucks. And then he started. I'm like, oh, let me climb this fence. Let me see what's over there. Oh man, maybe I'll go. But I'm still like, I'm honestly on the fence, but I'm leaning towards like, no.
Right, where I'm leaning, I'm more half glass full, because I think right now, like, the defense is gonna help them so much to where, like, it's okay. Like, if the first 4 games of the season they go 2-2, Trubisky slowly progresses. Say he doesn't hit his stride till week 8. Like, he finds it in week 8. He's back on track to have a slightly better season than last year.
Okay.
He's more consistent. He's getting better. We see him getting better, and the defense is keeping them in games.
Yep.
To where, okay, if we know we can score 20 points, we're going to win. Go get us 220 yards and a touchdown or 2. I don't care if you get 4,000 yards. I don't need 50 touchdowns from you. If you don't turn the ball over, you make your progresses and read the defense right and make the right throws, our defense is going to win us games too.
Listen, the thing about Trubisky is I don't think he's ever going to be a guy that can really read a defense well. I really don't. He has to be, the offense has to be scripted around him for that first or maybe second read to be open, and then you hit your check down if it's not there.
Right.
Man, in the NFL, you got to be able to read.
Right.
You got to be able to read the defense.
I agree.
And I don't think he has that ability. He's got the arm talent. He's got the legs. He can move. Whatever.
To the point of, like, your college, like, it makes sense. Like, the more starts in games you play in college, the higher chance you're going to have of success in the NFL.
Yes. There's a legit correlation.
Like, that is, like, really true.
Yes.
But I also think, like, the more games you play, if you take it upon yourself, like, you can get better over time regardless of where you're playing. So, like, he's just hitting that 30-game mark, like, end of last year, this year. So, like, he's only started so many games regardless. So, like, there's a lot of room for improvement, but, like, he just needs to, like, obviously do it. Like, there's no other excuse. So, like I said, if he hits his stride in week 8 and they're 5-3, like, nobody's gonna look back at week 1 and be like, oh, like, what happened week 1 again. Like, if
Right.
they go make the playoffs and win the division, and Trubisky has a year just like last year, or slightly better with a couple more touchdowns and maybe a couple less interceptions, that's a win and a franchise quarterback for me.
Okay. Well, to me, I'm not ready to call him a franchise quarterback.
Right.
Because he's not. He hasn't shown
And
that
if
he
he's
is
not, then
yet.
what is our options?
Draft a quarterback. I think they should draft a quarterback anyways.
I think they should too. I told you almost every year, if not every other year, they should be drafting a quarterback. Doesn't
Yeah.
have to be in the first, second, third round.
He doesn't have to be a top guy, you
Right.
know, but
just somebody that you like that can come in and who knows what.
man, if Ian Book comes out next year, what you think?
Why not?
Right now,
But,
right?
Well, after week 1, I was not very
Right.
happy
I know.
with him either.
I know. He's accurate though. Mostly,
Yes.
usually.
Yeah. Yes.
That's the first time I've seen him inaccurate, other than the Clemson game
Right. Exactly.
where he's missing guys. But anyway,
Yeah.
so back on Mitch, I got to see. You got to be consistent, man.
He has a lot to prove to a lot of people still.
Mm-hmm.
But the best thing that I like about Mitch is, like, one, he admits to everything.
He really does. I like that.
Two,
about
his
him.
mind game is, like we talk about, he knows it. Like, he knows he needs to do better, and he's going to take it upon himself to literally do his best.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
and that's what I like about him the best. And everybody in the locker room knows that too. Like,
And that's why
you don't
he's
see any, like, that's why Nagy was like, it's all about the characteristics and the what was the word he used? I don't remember what he said, but the type of people they bring into the locker room. Nobody's going to point fingers.
right.
They know what the offense is capable of, and obviously we know what the defense is capable of.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason we shouldn't win when we hold the team to 10 points.
Right. You should never lose a game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but we saw it last year. Like, we lost to the Bills. We lost to the Dolphins, I think.
Yeah.
You know, like, the team like that, like it happens. So, like I said, if we're going into week 4 and 5 and it's still looking like this, then we'll talk about it here again, and I might have a different change of heart.
We're gonna talk.
You know what I mean?
About it. I hope he proves me wrong.
Right.
You know,
He's got a lot of people in his corner, but, like,
he does. But
he also has got some people that aren't right now.
I'm like, hey, man, I want you to do well. Obviously, I'm a Bears fan.
Right.
But, like, bro, I can't do that.
Right.
I can't see week 1 again.
Right.
I can't see it. You know, one thing I want to bring up about him, I think that is maybe why he gets some harsher criticism maybe than he deserves from people like me and whoever. I think the fact that he was drafted number 2 overall.
Right.
He already came in with these. You're the number 2 pick. He came in with these expectations.
Right.
Already, but maybe it's not fair to put those expectations on him because really he wasn't a number 2 talent.
Exactly. It was totally agreed. I think that, like, that still bothers a lot of people that they missed out on Watson and Mahomes, and they traded up.
You see these dudes balling.
Exactly, and they traded up to get this Mitchell Trubisky guy that really nobody really knows about.
Yeah.
Like you said, 11 games in college. Like, nobody really knows. So, like, it was a huge risk, and you know what? The Bears thought that was, you could say, one of the, not worst, but one of Ryan Pace's not so good decisions probably.
Terrible, honestly. I'm gonna call it bad. It was bad.
It was bad. It looks bad now.
No, listen. You don't trade 3 draft when you're a rebuilding team. You don't trade draft picks to move up 1 spot. When
If he's your guy, you do. If you really think he's your guy, which we already admitted, it was a bad decision. But if he thinks you're, like, imagine if they did that and took Mahomes, nobody would say shit because he's doing well. So if Trubisky comes out and can be the quarterback, like, the only person
but
that I know,
he's not putting up Mahomes' numbers.
he
is
never
the thing.
will. I don't think.
No, ever.
Right. But if he comes out and they make a deep run and they get to the Super Bowl, like, every other decision Ryan Pace has made has been spot on, golden.
So okay, I'm gonna play devil's advocate on Ryan Pace's decisions.
Okay.
The Khalil Mack trade. Khalil Mack is an incredible player. You're not gonna like where I'm going with this, dude. He's a generational talent. I love Khalil Mack. Greatest pickup that we've ever gotten.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
However, the Raiders set the price. It's like the Raiders set the price way up here, right?
Right.
The Bears were the one team that was willing to pay that price.
Right.
That price may have been, you know, you can call it what it is. You can say, well, yeah, that's a great deal for the Bears. Great deal. Well, no, you're just the only team willing to pay that price. So it's like buying a house. It's like buying a house for, say it's on sale, or it's for sale for $200,000, right?
Right.
You're the only buyer willing to pay $200,000 and meet them, right?
Right.
You didn't really work a deal.
So are you saying they didn't win the trade?
I'm not saying they didn't win it. I'm just saying they were the only team willing to pay that price. I'm not saying that it's a win or a loss. I'm saying like let's pump the brakes on how great of a job that Ryan Pace did. Because it's not really, you didn't really get a deal. You just pulled the trigger. Right?
I don't think so, because I think there's more to it than that. I think the Packers wanted Mac, and they didn't offer enough. I don't know if they went nearly. Obviously, they
were trying to work a deal. They were trying to work a deal.
And the 49ers wanted them really bad, and they made a deal very similar.
Mm-hmm.
But the Raiders organization thought the Bears were going to have a worse season, and they'd get the better draft picks out of them.
Mm-hmm.
I think the deals were similar.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Bears offered the most. They did.
Yep.
But they were close, and the Raiders thought the Bears would be worse than the 49ers in the draft, and their selections would be higher.
Gotcha.
Which came back and bit them in the ass.
Yeah.
Because they weren't.
Yeah.
And don't forget, the Bears got a second-round draft pick coming to them at the end of this year, which is going to be almost like a very late first-rounder.
Right.
It's going to be a top 5 in the second round pick.
I saw that, yeah.
So
it is.
That's no slouch either. I think to get arguably the first or second best defensive player in the league,
Mm-hmm.
and sign him on like a 6-year deal.
Yeah, they got. I mean, no, don't get me wrong. I like the deal, but let's not say that Ryan Pace has done such a great job when all he did was, hey, that is $7.99. Here's $7.99.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, oh no, let's haggle, let's work a deal.
Right.
He was just like, yep, boom, what you want for him?
And yeah,
so
you could say that. I think like in their heads they're like, hey, this is the piece we need on defense to unleash Hicks and Floyd. Let's do whatever we got to do to get this man.
Yeah.
And there's always going to be a team to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm glad the Bears did it.
I'm so happy they did. I love Khalil Mack, man.
And think
he is a he embodies monsters of the Midway.
Literally, easily.
Yeah.
Perfectly. And I think like Pace is drafted really well late in rounds too. Like Cohen, Eddie Jackson. Roquan, perfect line. He's going to be the linebacker of the future. Like,
yeah. I think
they have it. Like this defense is like everybody's like signed for like the next like
couple of years,
3 years.
Yeah.
Like
so I like what they've done on the defensive side of the ball. They've drafted great.
Right.
Offense, like they're starting to show.
Offensive line's locked up.
It is. It sure didn't look good on Thursday.
No, it didn't. It's very improved Packers defense too. Yes. Almost everybody's kind of locked up. They have a few pieces here and there they're going to have to figure out.
Mm-hmm.
But for the majority, like at least this year, next year, and probably the year after, I think we're locked up for pretty much most of the team.
So do you think that if we had another quarterback, like a different quarterback, we could go farther?
Like if you're saying if we had like a Mahomes or something, then yeah. But if you're saying
Watson,
yeah, probably.
Okay.
If you're saying like if we had, there's not a lot of guys.
There's like 15 quarterbacks. I would take Dak over Mitch. And I'm not a huge Dak fan.
I don't know.
Because Dak gets it done, man.
He
does have a run game to help him, but he's been
better
clutch.
Offensive line too.
He's been clutch in the fourth quarter a lot.
Dak came in the year before, right?
I want to say so. Yes.
Yeah.
He's in his fourth year.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't know. I don't think there's anybody on the market right now.
That's what. Yeah, and I talk about these things. It's like, oh well, if we had this person, we would. But I use that to compare the players. Right. Like, hey, this is where Mitch ranks. Like,
I think a Dak Trubisky comparison on who I'd have is close.
Yeah.
I'd have to really like watch some tape and look at some stuff and come back. Obviously, trust me, there probably is close to 10 guys that I would take over him, no question.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, probably about 10 guys I take over him, no question. But then after that, I'd just have to start like really comparing, looking at tapes, looking at things to be like, okay, this one's close, this one's not. Kirk Cousins, Matt Stafford. Those guys on the bubble,
No, I would take like Cousins puts up numbers, man.
Best receiving core in the league.
He's got a good receiving core.
He
does. That's close.
Exactly. There's a lot of guys.
Matt Stafford.
It's close.
He's always put up numbers, man. I know he had Calvin Johnson, but he didn't have really anyone last year, and he still put up some good numbers.
Yeah, what do you have?
Decent
Golden Tate
numbers.
and Galloway. They weren't. All right, did he have? No, he didn't have Golden Tate last year, did he?
No.
He had Galloway. Galloway's good.
Yeah.
Marvin Jones. There's a lot of guys like that.
They're okay. But the Bears have a receiving core similar to that.
Exactly. And
is what I'm saying.
They have all the pieces that Trubisky needs. Like,
yeah.
He's got it. He's got to do it, and we both agree on that.
My guy. Produce, please.
Yes.
I want to see the Bears.
We all want to see it.
We need redemption off of that double doink last year,
right.
man.
I hope he goes off next week and puts up 300 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Maybe I'll shut up, but I'll be like, no.
At least I'll have a reason to be
like it.
Okay, like, now everybody can calm down. Like, let's just see what happens in the first quarter of the season. Like, no preseason. Like,
yeah.
Whatever. I do think that it has something to do with it. I don't want to get too much wrapped into that, but
I think that was a mistake.
I'm all for player safety.
I am too, but I think it was a mistake for the simple fact that this is only Mitch's second year in the offense.
Exactly.
He's a young quarterback. He's a young developing quarterback. Like, he ain't got all the
right.
He doesn't have it yet.
Right. And like, to be fair, like, Rodgers didn't look that good.
Well, duh, he played the Bears
right.
defense.
Right. And the Packers
good.
defense almost matched the Bears. So like, Trubisky looked worse. That's not what I'm saying, but like, they're starting to say now, like, preseason ends the beginning of October.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, you're not going to see probably, I mean, you're not going to see these teams take off week 1. Like, I'm all for players' health and safety, especially in the preseason, but like, Trubisky, put him in there, have him throw the ball for 2 drives. If there's getting pressure, just go down. Just take a 7-yard loss and go, like, kneel.
Right.
Like, but don't get sacked.
Yeah.
He's smart enough. The team's smart enough to tell him, look, I know you want to make plays. You know, run around a little bit. Take a sack, untouched sack all day long. Yeah. But go out there and make some throws. Mm-hmm. Go out there and,
go through your progressions.
Live game speed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's going to take a couple weeks for some teams to get going.
Yeah, that was a mistake, I think.
Yeah. Either get rid of it or, like, something. I don't know. But like I said, we've talked about that. I can agree with that.
Right. Yeah. So who do you think's going to win that division? Our division?
Bears all day. It's going to be a close race between Bears, Packers, and Vikings.
I can't wait till
it'll come down to those division games.
I can't wait till that second game against the Packers. We need redemption.
And just like last year, and we did it, and we won, and they had no shot at it, but we sealed it because the Vikings weren't far behind. They were like close for a while, but I think we separated.
Yeah. So that's
But we'll see.
We'll see. Packers look good, man. They were scary.
Right. Yeah, they did look good.
If Aaron Rodgers has a defense, look out.
Exactly, which like you said is the scary part. Mm-hmm. But let's look at college football.
Yeah, we got big. Last week was the first week of college football.
It's kind of boring.
It was kind of boring. Yeah.
Like you said, there was not a lot of teams. Everybody kind of had like get the rust off. Like, yeah. And, a lot of the teams came out in the second half. They played well and shut these teams down. But I think the guy that we liked the best, like that really kind of stood out, was Jalen Hurts. Yeah, at Oklahoma. He looked awesome.
He looks great in that offense.
He does.
Lincoln Riley's a mastermind for quarterbacks.
Oh,
he really
for sure.
is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Hurts 6 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Looked good. He looked really good.
Yeah. He's going to be I wouldn't really say dark horse Heisman.
Right.
But he was a guy that definitely stood out for sure. Bama, they played, I don't know who they even played, nobody,
just like they probably do this week.
Always. There was only one ranked matchup, and that was Auburn and Oregon.
Yeah.
I was really disappointed in Oregon. They had that game locked up. And
that was not.
They started, getting conservative and, not running their offense like they were to get that lead.
Right.
And then what happens? Auburn comes back and wins.
Yep. They bit them.
Notre Dame.
Yeah.
How did you feel?
You know what? Defense gave up 17 points. The first 2 drives, they gave up 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
After that,
they were solid.
Played well.
Yep.
Really good. Gilman, Starr, the freshman, Hamilton.
Yeah.
Put him out in coverage. Let Gilman fill that rover position that Tranquil played. Let him do that. I think that would work great. The run game looked good. It was Ian Book. I have high expectations for Ian Book, like I do Trubisky, and it seemed like he had happy feet in there. Like he didn't want to stay in the pocket.
He did. Yeah. He looked like Clemson, Clemson game. And I'm like, dude, this is Louisville, not Clemson.
Exactly.
Like, so he just, the line was creating a pocket for him, but he was always running outside of the pocket trying to make a play. And it's like, dude, for one, that's how you lose the ball, which happened.
It did.
And that's how you get hurt.
Exactly.
He took a couple of hits that he really shouldn't have taken.
Yeah, no reason for
And there were guys open that he really could have hit, and he
And I think they got time off because they have like a weird bye-ish, you could say. Like,
yeah, they played on Monday, so they're
Right.
not playing. Yeah,
So they got some time. They should handle New Mexico.
yeah.
I'm hoping that book comes out and looks better, and then you
Mhm.
got the big game in Georgia. So very anxious to see how they play next week
Yeah.
before they play Georgia. And then this week, so Michigan is tied with Army, 14-14, 2 minutes in the third quarter to go.
Michigan is.
They were down 14-7 at half, by the way.
Can I just say something about
Army's
Michigan?
ball.
Michigan is the most overrated team this year by far.
I think so, too.
How do you? And I'm just looking going into this year.
Right.
How do you say that they're a top 10 team, number 7?
Right.
At no less. How can you say they're the number 7 team when they lost 3 games to 3 good teams last year?
Right. Like they didn't win any big games, did
they? They got smoked.
Right.
63 points
Right,
against
that's-
Ohio State. Excuse me.
That's
One of the
crazy.
best defenses at Michigan that they've had in a long time.
Right.
No, please.
Right, yeah.
Florida
Come
put
on.
up 40 something.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy, honestly.
And they lost defensive starters.
A lot of them.
A lot.
A lot of 'em.
They had some ballers on defense.
Right.
And those guys are gone. How are they number 7? They ain't that good.
They might not even win this game this
They
week.
ain't that good. I hope they win, and then we go up there and beat them.
Beat them, exactly.
When they're undefeated.
That would be nice.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
So-
Just looking at some scores, Maryland unranked against Syracuse 21, 49-20. Maryland's winning in the third quarter.
Wow, that's locked up.
There's not that many good games, but there's a couple big games. You
Yes.
got Texas A&M and Clemson, and 1 versus 12 today at 3:30. It's Clemson's hardest game of the season. It's really their only test of the season. ACC, it's always a cakewalk for them.
Yeah.
Almost a guaranteed undefeated season every year. You got Alabama playing New Mexico State. Obviously, another one for them. And then the other big one, huge game.
Big time.
Playoff implications for both teams potentially.
Yep.
Number 6 LSU versus number 9 Texas.
Now, is that at Texas?
I believe that's at Texas,
Okay.
yes.
Man.
I believe.
They're not playing like one of those neutral site games?
No, it's at Texas.
At
I wish it was
Texas.
at Death
Woo.
Valley.
Austin's going to be rocking, though.
Yeah, that's where game day's at. I cannot wait for that game. You know what? It's a tough one. It'll come down to maybe LSU's quarterback play.
Always does for them.
Yep.
They haven't had a quarterback since...
Jamarcus Russell. Just kidding.
Right. Yeah, right. He was
No.
good in college.
I know.
But
But yeah, we'll see. So some big games: Stanford, USC, and yeah, that's about it. We are gonna send you guys off. We got a tea time here coming up soon.
yes, that's right.
And we are looking forward to it. It's nice, 70 degrees,
About
sunny.
70, 71, perfect.
Perfect.
Little breeze.
Yes.
Oh, man, I can't wait.
I can't wait either. So we're gonna send you guys off. Hope you guys enjoy the podcast. I'm very anxious for next week after the Bears play.
Oh, man.
We
We're going to be
can get-
talking about it.
Exactly. And I'll send it to Cam to send you guys off.
All right, guys. Definitely, we want to start utilizing our email a little bit more.
Yeah,
So if there's
definitely.
any topics that you want to hear, be sure to shoot us an email. We'll, talk about it in the next episode. Do some research throughout the week and give you guys what you want to hear.
That's right.
Our email is cctitletown@gmail.com. Super easy. You know the name of the podcast. You know the name of the email. Again, thank you guys for listening. If you're not subscribed, I'm sure you're already subscribed, but be sure to spread the word. Spread the
Absolutely.
word.
Let 'em know.
We're on Google Play, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Video will hopefully be coming on YouTube pretty soon.
Yeah.
So, stay tuned for all that. Like I said, if there's anything you want to hear, email us. Check you guys next week.